Rude.
My bad.
Doesn't even know how to spell my name.
Well, it is such a complicated spelling.
I would like when people enter my Twitter handle and like spell my name wrong. Considering my name is in my Twitter handle, you had to write it once.
Oh, I hear what you did.
Right there in the name. Like, you know, I missed the E.
That's even worse.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
I just invite you to do Facebook Messenger too.
Thanks.
Bro.
You're so nice.
Not bro. Chick. Okay.
It's through infusions on her side for you. Their mailing list is on infusions on. So that's how you probably know that. You see all the emails that go through.
The guy that I can't remember his name.
That's cool.
I hope this is here before they go sign. If it's not, I think we'll give away a copy on my podcast and then
How awesome is that?
keep the signed copy. I like the little thing at the bottom.
Thank you.
The bar. How did you do that?
Fair tape shop.
Oh, it's just a PDF.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't want to like lose all my formatting and stuff.
Yeah.
I have 2 computers. 3 different ways to hook up each computer. And on a flash drive. I didn't want to like deal with not having the right format. Or not having the right file. Do you remember at Word Camp last year? When I spoke?
I didn't see this
I did
video.
it on the
Yeah.
phone. Oh, you didn't? Oh, perfect. Well,
Is this the same presentation?
no, it's not the same. 'Cause
I
I only had
should
I only had
really leave
25 minutes at Word Camp, so
Yeah, because you spoke on Sunday. I didn't go on Sunday.
yes.
We went to brunch and then we went home.
Nice.
Because some of us stayed out like grown-ups. They didn't leave us and go home so they could work.
I
Put your
like
best-
I brought my
My
computer.
BFF
I
had
brought
with
the
it.
thing to plug into it, but it was like 2 male parts, or yeah, 2 male parts like kind of plugged together. It was like what the hell? Like it was just such a weird setup. And so I had to like borrow one of the audience members' computer, plug my presentation in. On the front.
That's funny.
Hi, Harry. I'm Michael. Ilana. Nice to meet you. I'm Michael. Jody, nice to meet you. Sean. Sean? Is it Sean or John? Jay. Jay. Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
Get to. tomorrow we're doing TechPHX. And I'm like planning out the schedule. Hey, wait a minute. Didn't I leave here really early last year? And so I got to and I was like, oh, are you doing anything? Are you doing graduate? No, no, no. She's like, I already mentioned that I left, and you're not even doing it.
Hi, how are you? I'm Michael.
I'm Michael, nice to meet you.
Madonna? Awesome. Nice to meet you. I'm Michael. Jim. I'm Michael. Nice to meet you. How you doing, Michael? What's your name? Mike. Mike? Perfect. I'm Michael. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Jen.
Jen?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How's everyone's day been so far? We're almost final stretch. I'm the only one standing between you guys and happy hour, right? not a good place to be.
It's dangerous.
It is dangerous, yeah. Start a couple minutes early. I'm just to let you guys know, I'm probably gonna go over like 5 or 10 minutes. So if you need to leave like right at what is it, like 4:20, whatever, feel free to get up and go. But yeah, I'll be here for as long as anyone has questions or anything like that afterwards. But just kind of want to get a start off by going around the room and just kind of saying your name and what your business is, or what why you're here at TechPHX. So why don't we start here at the front?
I'm Stephanie. The biggest project I've managed is I manage the media for social media for Phoenix Comic Con, but doing other social media on the site as well.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
I'm Megan. I'm a website designer, developer. Just coming out to check out all the different thoughts and ideas.
Okay. Very good. Mike?
I'm Mike Campbell. I do WordPress development and design. Just started a company called Shop Local Lazy and trying to push that off the ground. Just partnered with the Cronkite School at ASU. So.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Debbie Sauer. I'm a virtual accountant. Just heard about this and checked out.
Okay. Very nice.
I'm Ivana. I'm part of the fellowship program at Cronkite School. I'm from Brazil. I want to take something from my working background.
Okay. Very nice. Welcome.
Hi, my name is John Lujan, and I'd like to dip my toe into the internet to maybe start a small web page for a small business.
Okay. Very good. Stacy?
I'm Stacey Harris. I'm a social media consultant, and I'm actually speaking tomorrow here at TechPHX.
Awesome. Very good. Jen, kind of skipped over you.
I totally missed the question.
Oh, just give your name and then whether or not you have a business or what you're at TechPHX for. for? Like,
Oh, okay. My name is Jennifer Boyce, and I'm here because I'm about to launch my business. So I'm just trying to get as much information about how to do that as successfully as I can.
awesome. What's your business?
I work with women in sort of the self-healing area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Madonna?
I'm Madonna Cash. I work with chefs. I do marketing, work with a publisher, and big into culinary education.
Awesome. V?
Hi everyone, I'm Dee Salpan. I'm a management consultant. I teach small business how to develop a risk management system to manage their online reputation.
Jim?
Jim Maney. My wife and I run an ebook discovery service called ChristianEbooksToday.com, and also a self-publishing and author, self-help, myauthorservices.com.
I'm Christopher Thornton. I'm a website developer, and I'm kind of here to check it out. I don't have anything specific, just seeing what's interesting and hopefully learn something in the process.
Awesome. Very cool.
I'm Mikkel Keeney. I'm an ASU student and marketing intern at the Business Center and trying to figure out what I'm going to do in January. I graduate.
Very cool. I'm going to close this just so that I'm going to close it all the way to this stuff. So, awesome. Thank you for everyone showing up. You know, it's awesome to be here. Very grateful. So today I'm going to be talking about strategic marketing for small business. So whether you're a web designer, a social media expert, or you're just here, you know, trying to pick up some information, you have an idea of starting a business, whatever, everything comes down to marketing. How to market yourself. I mean, even when you're trying to find a significant other, you have to do some marketing to, you know, position yourself as the person that person wants to be with. So, you know, we're constantly marketing ourselves throughout our entire life. So, to do a quick little background on me, this is me, Michael Hunter. Contact information. Feel free to tweet out anything during this presentation if you have your phones out. I'm not offended by that. Using hashtag #BeStrategic throughout the presentation. And just one word of wisdom. We're going to start this off. You know, some pearl, you know, golden nugget type information. Never ever get a headshot taken in your favorite shirt, because you can never wear that shirt ever again. I went to the closet to pick out a shirt to wear today, went for that one, and I was like, oh no, can't do that. So, 17. So I started my first business when I was 17 years old, and the experience that I had at that point in time was I was right between senior year of high school and freshman year of college, and I was always playing sports all the way up until that point in time in the summertime. I played football and baseball, and so I kind of found myself, you know, twiddling my thumbs that summer because I turned down some D1 AA football scholarships, and I had nothing to do. I'm the type of person that I can't just sit there and not do anything. So I ended up trying to go out and find some jobs, go everywhere that I wanted to look to find a job. I had to be 18. I didn't want to, you know, be a sandwich artist or bag groceries or anything like that. So I just wanted to have some extra spending cash. And so I got this, actually landed a little part-time gig with a family friend who had a catering business, and started working at this catering business, you know, part-time, $8 an hour, doing these awesome, like really high-end parties for, you know, really rich people in Denver, Colorado. So it's kind of cool, like rubbing elbows with awesome people, but I learned really quickly that it wasn't, you know, the hourly wage thing really wasn't for me. About a week after I started that, I got a letter in the mail advertising this direct sales position. And so I was doing this part-time catering gig on the side, you know, doing this part-time catering thing and then doing a direct sales thing on the side, working about 15 hours a week of each. And at the catering business, making $8 an hour, working 15 hours a week. I'm not a math person. I can't do that math really quick, but it's only a couple $100 a week. On the other hand, the direct sales position, working the same amount of time, I was making $1,000 a week as a 17-year-old kid. Still living at home, meals at home and everything, so I was like, had all the money in the world that I knew what to do with. So that was like really what sparked my entrepreneurship drive, was just kind of having that epiphany, that realization that, you know, if you're gonna work hard at something, you may as well be working for yourself and not for someone else. So, made my journey out to ASU, and everyone here, and since ASU is right around the corner here, what is ASU known for? Partying. So obviously I came out to ASU to Hard. Study architecture. So ASU has one of the top 5 architecture programs in the entire nation, and I was really, really passionate about architecture and design. I've like taken architecture classes since I was in middle school, so I came out here to pursue architecture. And one of the, I was in the architecture program for the first 3 semesters at ASU, and I was loving it. Yeah, but it was a lot of work. Like just my architecture classes were 30 hours a week, pencil to paper, and all my other classes on top of that. It was really, really, really difficult. And what I realized was about my sophomore year, I had a couple other opportunities come my way that were in the business world. And what I realized was that it wasn't like designing living spaces that I was really passionate about. I had an epiphany that we don't just architect structures, we architect sound, we architect story, we architect businesses, and we architect lives. And the former, the latter two, were the 2 things that I was really, really passionate about. I love creating, I love design, but I found that I really liked architecting businesses and architecting life and lifestyle better than I liked architecting buildings. So I started a company my senior year of college called Entourage Marketing. So it was a little over 3.5 years ago. And we started off as a social media marketing company doing social media marketing for events. And that's evolved into, we realized that small businesses had a lot more challenges with marketing than just social media. So we expanded our services to website creation, online marketing strategy, content strategy, blogging, SEO, all that type of stuff. Pretty much everything you need to have an online business. And today we work with authors, speakers, coaches, and helping them develop products, set up online marketing campaigns, and promote their knowledge and position themselves as experts. So those are the clients that we work with now. And over the past 3.5 years, I've had the opportunity to meet some really awesome people. Does anyone in this room know who this guy is? Yeah, Matt Mullenweg, he created WordPress. Darren Hardy, Peter Diamandis. Peter Diamandis is the author of Abundance. He also is the founder of the X Prize Foundation, which is the reason why Richard Branson has his company Virgin Galactic. So he's a huge change maker, a huge influencer in the tech space. He's the founder of Singularity University, which is basically a university where people are actually innovating things that aren't possible today. So they're innovating based on the trajectory of technological growth. So Peter is like a huge thought leader of our time, one of the smartest guys of our generation. About 3 months ago, just got recruited by Infusionsoft. So I'm a social media strategist for Infusionsoft, helping them develop their social media strategy for 2014 and 2015. So that's a little background on me. So what we're going to be talking about today is getting product, service, message out in a big way, how to create a strategic marketing plan that gets results, why marketing strategy is essential to, that's a typo, we're going to take that out, but why is it essential to marketing, not sponsorship, and how we need to be more effective and how to maximize our results with our current efforts. So in essence, one of my biggest passions is bringing big business thinking to small business. It's something that a lot of people have a challenge with in a small business is it tends to make you small-minded. Especially if you're a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, or you're working in a startup environment where a lot of pennies are being pinched and you don't have a lot of cash flow and excess resources to invest in your business. It tends to limit your mind of what's possible. And it's really fascinating having the opportunity to look inside some much bigger companies with some of the consulting that I've done to see that they're really having the same exact challenges that small businesses have. So the people at Fortune 500 companies and the marketing departments and around the table at the boardroom, they're having the same challenges that the mom and pop shop is having. No one really has it figured out yet when it comes to the digital world, social media, all that stuff. I mean, really, if you think about it, online marketing is only about 15 to 17 years old. Social media in the business capacity is only about 4 or 5 years old. So it's constantly growing, it's constantly changing. No one has it completely figured out yet. So what is marketing? We'll just go around there's no right answer here. I'm not fishing for a right answer, but to you, what is marketing? When you think of the word marketing, what first comes to mind?
Great content.
Great content. Good.
The sharing of a message.
Sharing of a message.
Introducing your product or service to your potential client or customer.
Okay. Introducing your product or service to a potential customer? Very good. Anyone else? Wow. I usually get like someone's like selling, like sales. So marketing is a very, very broad term. It covers a lot of different things. But to me, marketing is the process of communicating the value of a product or service by delivering a tailored message to a specific group of people. And this is like kind of a more modern definition of it, because especially this back part of it, a tailored message to a specific group of people. Technology has allowed us to do that much more effectively with things like Facebook advertising, demographics, pay-per-click ads, things like that, where we can actually target very, very specific things. So a lot of people, they really hung up on the sales aspect of marketing. They don't want to feel smarmy or anything like that, but it's really just being able to effectively communicate value. So what are some of the challenges that you guys have when it comes to marketing in your small business? Obviously, here's some that I just threw up there. No, not enough time in the day. Anyone else have any challenges that you guys are currently facing right now when it comes to marketing, getting your message, getting your products or services out in a bigger way?
Consistency.
Consistency. Is like the technological aspect holding anyone back right now? Yeah, how many like tech is kind of a roadblock for you? Okay. What about this? Like you're really good at your craft or trade, but you don't really have a lot of marketing background. Is that anyone? Okay, cool. How many of you are like just getting started and there's like so much information out there you just don't know where to start? Is that where everyone else is too? So one of the biggest things to keep in mind here is that technology today is a lot different than it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. It's not, you don't have to be as much of a tech whiz as you used to be, right? And none of us, no one in this room, varying on, everyone in this room is varying on different technical levels, but no one in this room, was born and day one they put a label on you that said tech genius, so it's something that kind of reassures me because there's a lot out there. I even get overwhelmed sometimes too. I even have those nights where my head's pounding and I just need to like go take a break. But the thing that kind of reassures me is that, we all have the ability to figure it out. No one's out there, just innately has this ability to be a tech genius. So even though there's a lot of information out there, don't get overwhelmed and just keep learning. So one of the biggest challenges that small businesses have is they operate their business from a place of reaction rather than a place of action. And what that means is that they run their business based on the events that take place that day, rather than having a plan and waking up every morning knowing exactly what they need to do to generate results in their business. So how awesome would that be if every single morning you woke up and you didn't have to think about what you wanted to do, you already had a plan, you already woke up, you had your action plan, you could get up and you could start doing things that you knew were aligned with your with the goals and the objectives that you had for your business. How awesome would that be, right? So I developed a framework that I'm going to share with you today that kind of goes over a process that you can go through to get to that point where every single day you don't wake up, put your pants on, and be like, oh man, what do I need to do today to grow my business? You like wake up, you get out of bed, and you know exactly what you need to do to get results. So this is when I think of a small business operating from a place of reaction, this is the picture I have in mind. You're really good, you have your product, you have your service, you're really passionate, you have a great product, a great service, but you're not really going anywhere. You're spending a lot of time working really hard, but you might feel like you're spinning your wheels. Has anyone ever had that feeling where like you're constantly working so hard, you're putting in the hours, you're doing what people say doing what people say will make you successful, but you feel like you're just kind of going around and around and around. Is that valid? Okay. I was there too. Between my first business and Entourage, I started like 4 or 5 other companies, and a couple of them were successful, and a couple of them were utter failures. And looking back on it, after I've gained some more perspective, the companies that didn't work out so well were because I was operating from a place of reaction. I didn't have a strategy, didn't really have a lot of intention, had a lot of passion, had a lot of drive, but I was spinning my wheels and I wasn't really getting anywhere. So spinning your wheels equals stressed out, frustrated, overwhelmed, and working in circles. But strategic action equals certainty, intention, efficiency, effectiveness, confidence, growth, abundance, and freedom. I mean, all of us at the end of the day, we go into business, we develop skills to what? Create freedom, right? To create more time so we can spend with our families, do the things that we love to do, and so we don't have to answer to the man, right? So this is just a funny little picture. I was in this this little print shop, and this was on the wall. And it was like right before I was heading out to Dallas to give a presentation to a bunch of nonprofit organizations, and this sign was on the wall like the day before I left, and it says, you can't read it, we have a strategic plan, it's called doing things. And it's kind of ironic because, like, yeah, most people, you know, this would be a good strategic plan, just doing things, but that's just like very surface level. So doing things will only get you so far. I mean, I'm assuming that everyone in this room is already doing things, right? We're already out there, we're making it happen, we're putting the time, we're putting the effort. So I'm going to teach you guys how to take it to the next level. So these are the 3 things that small business owners lack. And these 3 things, if you focus on these 3 things and you do them well, you can't fail. So strategy, systems, and action plan. Systems is something that is extremely, extremely important. How many of you have had a McDonald's cheeseburger in your lifetime, ever? And how many of you guys have had, like, gone to a gourmet restaurant and had a cheeseburger there or something? Like something that's a little bit more high-end. Which cheeseburger is better? Right? Like, obviously going to like a nicer place. McDonald's cheeseburgers are awful. They're awful, but you know, they're convenient. They're quick, they're fast. And the reason why that business works is because they have systems in place. They have a system in place where they can put someone minimum wage that doesn't have to have any advanced knowledge of cooking or skill, really any skills whatsoever. They have their training program. They can put anyone in that position and get the same result. That's what makes McDonald's successful. That's what makes franchises successful, is having that almost fail-proof system. So what are some systems that you can create for your business? Whether it's automated online marketing systems, or automated direct mail systems, or even just systems and processes within your business. Maybe you have a small team of contractors, maybe you have a process for web design, or for social media, you have certain steps that you need to take. You know, there might even be things that you do innately, but in order to scale your business, in order to leverage your time and you know, delegate some of the work, you're going to have to create some systems and processes that you can communicate to someone else so that they can duplicate the results that you're making. And then the action plan. So the importance of strategy. So the typical person versus massively successful person. The typical person doesn't have a strategy, doesn't have systems, doesn't have an action plan. The massively successful person has all 3 of those things. So I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here and talk about the 7 roles of a business owner. So how many of you, as a freelancer or a business owner or a marketer, how many of you wear many, many hats in your business? Like, so many hats that sometimes you don't even know which one you should have on at the current moment in time, right? So I've kind of grouped all those different hats into like 7 different categories. And the 7 different categories are the architect, the engineer, the coach, the student, the carpenter, the promoter, and the groundskeeper. So the architect is all about the big picture, the vision of the company, the business model, and the strategy. So kind of think of a blueprint, right? So architect designs a blueprint. They're in charge of the actual big picture of the vision and how everything is going to be pieced together. The engineer is the person that goes in and figures out how to execute that vision, how to execute that plan. They're there for the processes, the systems, and actually building the infrastructure. The coach is all about training, teaching, and motivating, whether that's your employees or your team to be more productive. The student, that's all of us right now. We are wearing the student hat being at TechPHX. The carpenter, doing the actual work. So this is the people that are actually implementing, doing the tactics, making the posts to social media, making website updates, things like that. The promoter, doing all the sales, marketing, networking, anything that has to do with kind of spreading the word about your business in a one-to-one type fashion, more times than not. And then groundskeeper, doing the dirty work, maintenance, filing papers, all those things that are important for a business to, you know, operate smoothly, but aren't, you know, are kind of like the admin type stuff. And, you know, if you have a physical business, cleaning the bathrooms, things like that. So as you can notice, the top three have, you know, they're underlined. Can anyone kind of see a common thread that weaves between those three things? Like why they would be underlined? It's not very obvious. But the architect, the engineer, and the coach all have leverage. So as a small business, as a strategic marketer, you need to be wearing business hats that have more leverage than hats that are just, you know, one-time, hours that are one-to-one with customers or one-to-one with certain things, whether it's, you know, posting to social media. You know, that's, you know, developing the social media plan and then delegating the actual work to someone that can implement that plan. So the biggest reason why most small businesses fail, or one of the big reasons why most small businesses fail, is because too much depends on one person or a small group of people within a bigger organization. So the more that you can create systems, create processes, create things that are leverageable by you focusing on the coach, engineer, and architect roles and delegating these 4 hats to other people that are qualified, the more successful you'll be. So one of the analogies I like to make is that marketing is like a game of chess. And each piece on a chessboard has different ways of operating, right? It has, you know, different moves that you can make. But the most important thing is that all of your pieces are working together to achieve all of your pieces are working together to achieve a common goal. So if all of your pieces aren't working together, if they're not all going for the same goal, then you're not going to win. So what happens a lot in marketing, whether it's a small mom and pop business or a Fortune 500 company, is that all their marketing is disjointed. Their social media is doing one thing, their direct mail campaign is doing another thing, their online advertising is doing another thing, their TV commercials, their radio ads, they're all doing something different rather than working together to achieve a common goal. So the 4 keys to effective marketing are alignment, making sure that all of your marketing efforts are aligned, doing research, building a strategy, and executing. So I've developed a framework called the Strategic Marketing Compass that's based on these 4 keys. And this is what we're going to be talking about for the rest of today. I'm going to be going through each one of these steps. And just so you guys know, I'll also make these slides available to you on Twitter. So if you just tweet me at Michael R. Hunter, Michael R. Hunter is my handle. I'll tweet you back with the link. So most business owners focus on the tactics. Some focus on creating valuable content, and few focus on the message, strategy, target, purpose, and desired result. So most people just focus on this part right here. Their social media, email marketing, video, blog, websites, and they get a result. Where in order to get your desired result, all of those things, all the tactics need to be executed based on a foundation. And the foundation is what most small business owners don't create. They don't spend the time to invest in creating that foundation. So think of this as like a actual navigation compass. So you have this out in front of your hand, and it's designed to take you from where you are now to where you want to go. So the first step down here is desired result, but in order to get to where you're going, you have to know where you are right now, precisely. You have to be like brutally honest with yourself about where you are. When you go to a mall, might be a question for the ladies. When you go to a mall and you're in a hurry, you only have 30 minutes, but you need to go get something very specific. You walk in the door, what's the very first thing that you do? Look at the map. And then what do you look for on the map, very specifically? What do you look for on the map?
You are here.
You are here. You have to know where you are in order to get to where you want to go. Too many times as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we get a little bit too excited about our own stuff, and we think that we're a few steps further ahead than we really are. So that's one of the good things about having either a business partner or a friend or a consultant that can help you, determine where you're at now
in order to develop an actual plan to where you want to go. So first thing is to get really clear on your desired results. You have to know what you're working towards. You must be clear and aim your efforts in the right direction. So you can set goals, but set 4 different types of goals. Long term, so 3 to 5 years, and these don't have to be very specific. I mean, 5 years ago, how many of you have been in business for 5 years yet? A couple of you? So I mean, 5 years ago, if you set a goal, how much has changed in the last 5 years? Like, it's ridiculous, right? So people that say you need to set extremely clear 3 to 5 year goals, I don't agree with them, because technology changes. I mean, there's gonna be things, technological capabilities 5 years from now that we can't even fathom right now. But just have a good idea of where you're headed. Distant 1 year, intermediate 3 to 6 months, short term 1 to 4 weeks. And this is where it gets really, really important, is having these short term goals so that you can measure your progress. Purpose. Anyone know who this guy is? Simon Sinek? You know who Simon Sinek is?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He has his he has his book Start With Why.
Yeah.
And he has one of the, how many of you are familiar with TED Talks?
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone in the room, right? This is TechPHX. So TED Talks, he has one of the top 10 most viewed TED Talks in history. It's over like 20 million views or something. Ridiculous. So it's one of Simon's coined phrases or things that he's known for is this quote: people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So why are you in business? This is important because people want to do business with people who believe what they believe. And that's something that Simon Sinek talks about a lot. People want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. They want to be involved in a cause, or they want to be involved in someone that's doing something that they believe in. Target. So you want to laser in on your target market. Who can benefit from your product? Who is your ideal customer? Laser in on your competition. This is a huge step most people don't face. How many of you starting your business, or maybe you've been to a motivational seminar or something, and they're like, you need to be laser focused on your goals. You need to put the blinders on, you need to put your head down, you need to work hard, and you just need to go out there and make it happen. Has anyone heard that message before? Yeah. And I think nothing could be further from the truth. One of the biggest reasons why startups fail or small businesses fail is because they don't differentiate themselves from their competition enough to stand out. So if you don't look at your competition and look extremely close at your competition, you might be trying to compete with someone that has been doing it for 20 years and it's going to be an uphill battle the entire way. So what do you do better than anyone else in your industry? What do they do better than you? And that's something that's really important to recognize as well, is what are they doing that's really, really good that you can't compete with? And be aware of that so you can position yourself as something different. And maybe you position yourself as something that they're not doing, and instead of being competitors, you can create a joint venture partnership where you refer business back and forth to each other, and you actually become allies. Laser in your positioning. How are you different and how are you unique? Next step is strategy. Set the clear and specific marketing goals. So based on your desired result, create marketing goals, specific marketing goals that you want to accomplish that are in alignment with that desired result in order to achieve them. So you should focus on 3 areas: promotional strategy, PR strategy, and creative strategy. I'm going to go into each one of those categories here. So promotional strategies are most effective with existing customers. So one of the things that I talk with a lot of our clients about is retention marketing. And this is something that I did at 17 that I really didn't know what I was doing. But when I was in my direct sales business and it came time for the holidays and I wanted to make some extra cash during the holidays, I realized that it was going to be harder for me to go out and get new customers than it was for me to sell to old customers. So I drafted a sales letter. I did a little promotion for the holidays, stuffed it in envelopes, and sent it to all 100 of my former customers from the last 3 previous months or whatever. And I made a bunch of sales from people who have already bought from me just recently. So promotional strategy works best with people that already know, and trust you and your business and your services. So it's a great way to increase the frequency. So the time frame is, condense the time frame between purchases, so you get more repeat sales. And this is something that boggles my mind, is that most business owners don't collect customer information. So, you have to be collecting your customer information. People that are coming through your door, giving you money, like you're spending money to get that person in your door, and you're just letting them walk out. And it's going to be 10 times harder to get them back in your door if you don't have their information. So there's a lot of creative ways to do that. A lot of people do campaigns, contests, promotions, sweepstakes. Some industries are easier to do it in than others, but it's extremely important. Reputation, exposure, and loyalty are 3 categories of PR. So what are ways to consciously increase your credibility in your marketplace, with your customers, by doing social good, generating positive word of mouth. Word of mouth is the most effective way of growing your business ever. So what are ways that you can add value to your current customers that'll get them to talk about you more? I mean, network marketing, multi-level marketing has been around for decades, if not a century now, and all those businesses, the only way they operate is off of word of mouth marketing. So it clearly works because all those companies are still around. Well, not all of them, but some of the big ones are still around for a while. So exposure, product, service, social good, publicity. So getting eyeballs on your product or service, getting eyeballs in front of your brand, and then loyalty. How can you retain your customers? The last section of strategy is creative. So it's really the creative application of public relations and the creative application of promotions. Have outside-the-box ideas and try to avoid typical forms of marketing. Typical equals commodity. So I mean, how many of you have seen a commercial where this made you die on the floor laughing, or was like, man, that was really impactful? How many of you have seen those commercials? How many of you can count those times? How many of those commercials have you seen over 10? How many of you have seen over 10 commercials like that? None of us, right? It's 1 or 2. But there's tons of commercials out there that are just totally typical, and they're just promoting features and benefits, and they're not really pulling you in emotionally or anything like that, so they become a commodity, and there's no stick factor to them. So how can you create more engagement? So it's not necessarily communicating or marketing in mediums that aren't already being used, but it's more about the creative application of leveraging those mediums to get better results. Next thing is, once you develop your strategy, now getting really clear on the message that you want to portray to your target market, the message that you want to portray to the world. So you have your core message, which should be tied in with your purpose. Again, people want to do business with companies that believe what they believe. And a niche tailored message. So, if you try to appeal to everybody, you end up appealing to nobody. So finding that target market, going back to, that's where this layer, the target, comes into play. It's being really clear on, the challenges and the solutions that your product or service solves. So when you're really clear on that, now it becomes really easy to find the people that are going to benefit from your product or service, so that you can tailor a message to put in front of them. Once you've gotten your core message down is when you go into content. So every single piece of content that you produce should have a tone, or should have that feeling, or communicate explicitly your core message, so that when people read any piece of content that you have, they understand what your business is all about, what you believe, and there's just more emotional connection with your company or your product or service. So has anyone heard the term content is king? I mean, it's something that's been thrown around for probably the better part of the last decade. But not a lot of people are talking about why content is king. They're like, oh, you need to go produce content, you need to have a blog, you need to have a video blog, you need to have a podcast, you need to do all this stuff. But why? Why is producing content so important? Well, it's the information age. So everyone has the Google on their phone. And anytime that you don't know an answer, you go to the Google. and you type in your question or your how-to information. So it's extremely important to, if you have a solution to someone's problem, to produce content so that when someone's looking for an answer, you're the person that's found. Over the next 2 to 3 years, 3 billion people are coming online from underdeveloped, less developed companies than the United States. So 3 billion people are coming online in the next 18 to 24 to 36 months. And that's the fastest growth of any communication channel platform ever in history. Like, we have no idea what this means, but it's just a huge window of opportunity. And those new people that are coming online, they're going to be doing the same exact things that we were doing in the 90s and early 2000s, which was, how do I do this? How do I do that? They're going to do all the how-tos. If you have a message or a product or service that can help people, now's the time to get established. Now's the time to get up there and establish your presence on the web. We're still in this window of time where in most industries, your competition isn't really doing online marketing, isn't really doing content creation effectively. There's very few industries where the competition is really, really just killing it. So it's a window of opportunity for all of us in this room to really make ourselves established and make it easy for people to find us. So credibility, it's a new age of marketing. So now, today, education is marketing. Back in the 80s and 90s, we all went to university to get a good education because education, knowledge was power. Education was power. If you wanted to make a lot of money, you had to know more than the average person. You had to go be a doctor or a lawyer where people came to you for specialized information that only you could help them with. Now, information is a commodity. So we've gone from a knowledge is power generation to a sharing knowledge is power generation. So knowledge no longer is power, but sharing knowledge is power. And that's why it's the new age of marketing. And it's how to step above your fears. Tactics is the next step. So this is the actual implementation of all of the work that you've done up until this point. So all of this foundational work should influence how you do all of these things. And these are just a few of them. So social media, blogging, video, SEO, radio, TV, newspaper, magazine, direct mail, and products. All of those things that you're doing should be influenced by your purpose, for your target market, with strategy, communicating your message, and having a strategy for all of your content. So a lot of small business owners, like I said at the beginning of the presentation, they just jump to the tactics. And they don't integrate them well, and they get a result. There's always an output to any input. So if you just jump to the tactics, if you just start posting on social media, if you just start sending out emails, you're going to get a result. That result might not be the result that you want or the result that you desire, but you're going to get a result. So that's what happens when people jump here. They get a result, and it's not the result that they want. So the next step is integration. So what are your offline marketing tactics? What are you doing offline? What are you doing online? And how can you make them work together? So one example is maybe you're sending out a direct mail piece, a flyer, some sort of thing in the mail, and it has a call to action to a landing page online that collects their information. And then it has an online follow-up sequence. So that's just one example of integrating your tactics and having a little bit more strategy involved with it. So break your tactics down into specific action steps. What are things that you're going to tactically implement immediately, short term in the next 10, 12 weeks, intermediate, distant, 1 year. So over the next year, let's say that in this next year you want to have a new blog on a specific topic with 100 posts and having a prosperous blog. You break that down into what you can do tomorrow. So this is something that I share anytime I talk is what I call the rule of 3. And what would your life look like if every single day you completed just 3 tasks that you knew were in alignment with your desired result? So if you just do 3 tasks every single day over the course of a year, taking 2 weeks off for vacation and taking Sundays off, it's over 1,000 completed tasks. So if you can condense the next year of time into tomorrow, and you could have this like immediate view of what your life will look like with 1,000 tasks completed, or 1,000, tactics or action steps completed, how powerful would that be? So it's really not doing, success isn't the term overnight success is something that I absolutely hate. No one's an overnight success. Anyone that seems to be an overnight success has been working at that, extremely hard for years, decades. And it really comes all back to doing this. All of us can do this. All of us can do 3 things that are in alignment with our goals.
I've heard something about that a while ago, and he referred to it as IT's, important to-dos. And
Okay.
So that's what I do every morning. I wake up and I set 3 things that I'm going to do with my businesses. So.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And this is something that, like, once I started implementing this, just rocketed my productivity, rocketed the results I was getting. Because a lot of times we look at the things that we need to get done in order to have a level of success that we want, and we get overwhelmed, and we end up doing nothing or doing 1 thing a day. But when we are conscious about doing 3 things, and we know that those 3 steps are in alignment to what we were looking to accomplish, it's really simple. So every single night before bed, I'm a night type of person. I'll work till like 2 or 3 in the morning. Like while I'm in the flow, like about to go to bed, I'll always write down 3 things I need to get done tomorrow. So what that does is it allows me to sleep better because I'm not like laying in bed having my mind racing about everything I need to get done tomorrow. And then when I wake up, I know exactly what I need to do tomorrow that's going to continue my progress. Something very, very small, but it's very significant. Next thing is metrics. So you need to be able to measure your results. You can't manage what you can't measure. I can't remember who said that, but it's true. So there's no way to tell what's working, what's not working if you don't have any metrics. So before you start doing anything marketing-wise, make sure that you can track and manage the effort. Because if you're putting an effort into something, but you're not sure of whether or not it's working, how can you calculate your return on investment? How can you make sure that that thing that you're investing time in is worth it, is worth the time you're investing? So make sure that no matter what you're doing when it comes to marketing, make sure that you can track it to make sure that you can allocate more, if it's working really well, you can allocate more resources to that and tailor back something else. So just a quick recap. Here is the entire strategic marketing compass framework and how it aligns with those 4 key components of a marketing strategy. You have your alignment, research, strategy, and execution. And then just one last thing that I want to leave you all with is something that is another really small concept, but it's very significant as well. So, do you like my Star Wars infographic? I knew this would really resonate with TechPHX because a lot of tech people are Star Wars nerds, like me. Anyway, so strategy is the bit. I love this too because Chewbacca is the strategy. It's a big, hairy, scary thing over here that a lot of people avoid, and then campaigns all fit in with that strategy. So you have your marketing campaigns that might be a fall promotion or a social media promotion or something like that. All of those should fold into that strategy. So everything that you do in your marketing should be a part of a bigger strategy. And this comes back to the chess analogy, making sure that everything that you're doing is working together to achieve a common result. And we have a little R2D2 down here, which is the follow-up. And a lot of people even do the strategy right, they do these campaigns right, but they miss this follow-up piece right here. And inside that little tiny last little nesting doll is the $1 million bill. You're making sure that you're not only marketing yourself effectively, positioning yourself well, but also following up with leads that you get. So, if nothing else, remember this framework right here. This is a condensed version of the strategic marketing compass that I use for campaigns. So these are the entire strategic marketing compass is all about developing that bigger overarching strategy and creating an action plan on that strategy. And this is for campaigns. So objective, strategy, tactics, action steps, and metrics. I call it the OSTAM framework. Objectives, what are you looking to accomplish? Strategy, what's your plan for accomplishing your objectives? Tactics, how will you actually go about executing that? Action steps, what specifically needs to happen and when? And metrics, how do you know that you've accomplished your goal? That's it. So I'm here to serve you. Guys have any questions, feel free to ask right now in the group, or if you want to come up to me personally, that works as well. Does anyone have any questions right now that you want to ask about the presentation or the framework or anything? I know I threw a lot of information at you. At the very end of the day, your minds were probably already fried before you started speaking, but you don't have a question? No question. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me on Twitter or shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you guys have. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Jen, your Facebook beta thing from B-School. Yeah. I was the one that was never there.
That's so funny. This is my husband's house.
Hi, Charles. I'm Jen. I'm actually just getting through it now.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah. Well, I'm such a social media, I mean, everything has to do that stuff, so I think I'm in week 2 because I was so behind.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is
Yeah, which is great.
and it's updated. I'm doing an update next week.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm not even there yet.
There'll be new stuff.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
That's so funny. I'm so nice to meet you. Thanks for introducing yourself.
Yeah, well, I was, when you said your name, I was like, I know this name from somewhere.
Are you a user?
I don't know.
Thank you for coming out.
I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, I was thinking, I saw that, so I was thinking about my girlfriend, because she's in the other room. We have a personal thing that we can arrange tomorrow, but we're gonna see if we can get help. But if not, it's recorded.
Yeah, it'll be on the website.
Yeah. All right, awesome, so I just wanted to say hi, nice to meet you.
So I'll try to tell the people in the back that too.
So they're having a closing session in about 10 minutes down in the open area. They're doing the raffle drawings and stuff like
You can
that.
see it from both levels. She'll be upstairs. I just want to learn more about it. I mean, I
Yeah, definitely.
We didn't have it on the schedule, so that's why I wanted to get in everyone's faces. Especially now that you know what you read. So,